One of my favourite parts of the Farmers Weekly paper every week is the Newsmaker, where you get to hear that depth behind the characters that are around our beautiful country. And this week's Farmers Weekly, journalist Annette Scott delved into the story behind South Canterbury farmer Tony Dobbs. He has shorn so many sheep that a lack of recent practice barely seemed to matter in Waimate, as he became the first person in the world to win 100 open blade shearing finals. Incredible achievement. The win came on the second and last night of the 43rd Waimate Shears, the New Zealand Spring Championships, where he first competed in 1979. And Tony's on the line with us. Good evening, Tony. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much, Sarah. Yeah, no, it's great to get that little hurdle out of the way. Well, big hurdle, I should say, yeah.
And of course, it's one of those things. It's been a wee bit since you picked up the blades. How rusty were you?
Yeah, no, pretty rusty. Well, as you can imagine on the farm, it's just full steam this time of the year with lambing and, calving going on and, still winter feed breaks the shift. And, yeah, I was hoping, or I had intentions to do a wee bit of practice to get ready for it, but just didn't have the time. And, yeah, so she was cold turkey.
Is it a little bit like riding a bike, though? Once you get those blades back in your hand, you're back into it. And, of course, tell us about your competition as well. I mean, did they put up a hard task?
Yeah, well, like you said, it's a bit like riding a bike, but, I mean, they're a bit wobbly on the pedals, that's the only thing. And, but I just keep cool and keep that top 6 inches, in the head department right. And, and I think it just helps you focus on what you're doing, because you're not going to be able to keep up with the other lads as they're sort of buck rats, and just concentrate on every blow or every part of the sheep that you're doing, and it helps you keep your job right and takes the mind off the pain. Yeah.
Oh, at least you're honest, Tony. I mean, I absolutely admire your fitness and your tenacity. 100. But the young and fit age of 58, and what drives you to be continuously involved in sport shearing? Is it the community around the sport?
Well, yeah, I suppose it's gang mentality, but I mean, it's not a bikie gang, it's a shearing gangs, and, I was involved with the shearing industry when I was young and enjoyed working in the shearing gangs because, I mean, it's like a big family in there, and if you're willing to fit in, there's a lot of enjoyment, in the camperway sheds and just meeting other guys from different areas, different walks of life, and then you get into the competition side of it. Well, that's another big family again, and I've got people from all over the world that I know as close friends, so it's sort of hard to step away from that, because every time you go to a competition, you're meeting a lot of people there that meeting new friends, and when I did knuckle for about 18 years, and during the 90s, I had a bit of a gap while my children were young, and I missed that camaraderie we had, and so when I did finally get talked into coming back, I just instantly got the disease again, and I was away. I just couldn't let it go.
How do you find balancing, say in those earlier years when you did make that decision because you had younger children, but as they got a bit older, doing the circuit as well as farming, that I admire.
Yeah, no, it's a big haul, and I mean, to be honest, you're halfway selfish to yourself to be there, and you're relying on a lot of people around you, family members to knuckle down and do those extra yards so you can actually get away for that weekend, or that Saturday or whenever the competition's on. And I'm probably pretty lucky. Most of mine are in say a 2 or 3 hour driving range from home. But every time I get into the New Zealand team and we fly to Australia or somewhere, you're away for a week. So I rely pretty heavily on the family at home to do my jobs for me and look after the farming operation. So
How do you also know? How I've always admired it as well in terms of that uneven competition between those that do it from a sport perspective and have day jobs throughout the week versus, of course, you've got contractors that are sitting pretty doing it every day in and out. The competition, how does it work in terms of that level playing field for fitness and skill?
Oh, well, you're all on the same level when you're front up, at the competition. There's no, like wood chopping, there's no off the standing start. Everybody's when it's go, and if you can't hack the heat in the kitchen, you just slowly go out the other end. But I mean, in the early heat, you're only on 3 and 4 sheep, and then when you get through to the final, you're either 5 or 6. So I mean, that's when it starts taking its toll on me. Like I've just got to really make sure my equipment's razor sharp, and that gives me my edge to stay up with those guys. And like at Waimate, I sharpened every sheep, which is probably costing me about 5 to 8 seconds, just to sharpen each time, and you times that by 5 sheep, there's 40 to 50 seconds, which is coming up to 2 points with lost in time points. So, but I go and keep my job hopefully better by doing that, and so that's how I, stay in the mix.
How do you feel that the sport and, of course, the art of shearing by blade is placed into the future?
It's probably going to be a bit of a struggle from now on in. There's not a lot of young ones coming into the industry like there was, say, 25 years ago, because, the modern shearing equipment we've got, on the market today, they got these combs called winter combs, which do an exceptionally good job, but not as good as what the blades would do in the high country areas. But, I mean, it comes down to efficiency, I suppose, at the end of the day. You can get a team of, say, 4 or 5 machine shearers on winter combs and sort of looking at around 200 odd plus a day out the porthole. And, that 5 shearers is 1,000 a day. That would take, say, 8 blade shearers. So, it's just efficiency, I suppose. And but I know we'll still keep certain parts of the high country will stay as blades as long as there's blade shearers to do the job, because as far as a storm it counts, a blade shorn sheep, it has to be really severe before you'll lose any, whereas the machines, if one of these spring storms come in, even with a winter comb, the losses can be substantial, if the farmer isn't really on the case and making sure he can get as many into shelter as he can,
I actually do understand from that perspective, Tony. I remember the blade shearers coming into the Nevis when we were growing up as kids, and then, of course, growing up and travelling beyond the region like you do when you become a teenager and go to boarding school. And I thought these other sheep, these Romneys, they were naked. I couldn't understand it. So it does just become a part of your culture in the high country, and it certainly would be sad to lose the art of it. Hey, can I just say, and congratulations on behalf of our listeners and viewers from around the world. Thank you so much for coming on Shearers Country to share your story, and everybody will be wanting to know, will you be going for 101?
Well, I'm going to the Canterbury show, or the Canterbury shearing part of the show that's going to be held at Marble Point on the 5th of November, so you never know, 101 might happen. We'll wait and see.
Everybody keep that focus on Mr. Tony Dobbs. They're joining us there from Fairlie.
This is Shearers Country.